The Cosmos resurrection miracle is in full swing because we have new leadership with Mark and Barry being young, ambitious, smart, product and user-oriented leaders that are taking the right decisions, that are acting very, very fast, and that are now sitting at the steering wheel for Cosmos, which is restoring the technical roadmap, which also contributes to unifying the ecosystem, also getting everyone to rally behind a shared vision, even projects that previously distanced themselves from the Cosmos brand. And you're going to see this year, a lot of things are being restored and nature is healing. We're also seeing probably the final piece in the restructuring of the Cosmos Foundation, aka the Interchain Foundation, which is now the main funding arm, and basically downsized to the minimum, which is to mainly fund Interchain Labs as the operational arm for Cosmos. And the Foundation Council also just provided an update, which is that Cosmos co-founder Ethan Buchman is departing from the Interchain Foundation. And he also wrote a letter to the Cosmos community, which also sheds a bit more light on the entire process of getting in touch with Mark and Barry, the Skip team, which is now Interchain Labs. And their kind of shared views on the Cosmos Hub, on the Interchain stack, IBC, and all these kind of things. So definitely read through that letter, and wishing all the best for Ethan, who is obviously going to stay in Cosmos. He's now the founder of Cycles, which is still building in Cosmos, obviously. And I guess we're going to hear a lot from him over the coming years. Also, Interchain Labs shared a short-term roadmap for the Interchain stack. Now that the Interchain Foundation also entirely restructured, that also means that we don't have the concept of stewards, which are basically teams that are responsible for individual part of the stacks, but they all have their own kind of individual roadmaps. Now, there are no more stewards, and the entire Cosmos tech development is back in-house for Interchain Labs. So the Cosmos SDK, IBC development, Comet BFT, this is all now happening at Interchain Labs, which previously was not the case. And in that blog post here, they share their new philosophy. They share the short-term roadmap, which is all about IBC Eureka, which is basically making IBC compatible to Ethereum. And this is supposed to be shipped as soon as by Q1, right? So late March is when IBC Eureka is going to ship. Then also Cosmos SDK V2, which is coming, and a lot more upgrades and evolvements that will make the Cosmos stack even better and more resilient. We're also seeing the community now getting really, really excited. And there is a core Cosmos community, especially a core Atom community, right? Which is why also Atoms managed to survive throughout the past years, where people called it dead. People said it's never going to work. There's no value accrual. There's nothing, right? But Atom is still in the top 60, and there's still a core Atom community, while a lot of other coins that seem to have found their edge but collapsed because either there was no economic sustainability or technical exploits that happened. But the Cosmos Hub is still standing. It has always been rather conservative, but I think now the Cosmos Hub and Atom are in very good hands. Also the roadmaps that are on the pulse of innovation, right? So we saw the Interchain stack roadmap. There's also going to be a Cosmos Hub specific roadmap that is currently in the works. And there's a new era. The community is still there. There's more and more positivity, more and more alignment, more and more coordination. And I can almost guarantee you that, at least from my perspective, this year we're going to see a continuation of that positive momentum and positive vibes in Cosmos. That's at least what I'm also working heavily to contribute to that, right? Now, with Cito Zone, which we also did a full brand facelift, we also shared the updated Interchain Ecosystem Roadmap. We're probably going to rename that to Cosmos Ecosystem Roadmap because I think also ICL is now all in on the Cosmos brand and restoring that. So Cosmos Ecosystem Roadmap, you see a full overview of all the projects, all the validators, the core tech stacks, NFT collections that are new, right? Like Mammoths are new, whale sharks are new, and so on and so forth, right? So you can go through that list and see how vast the Cosmos ecosystem actually is. Also, the IBC protocol account shared the top 10 most active IBC zones, Noble being the biggest one, then Osmosis, DYDX, Say, Axelar, Cosmos Hub ranked 6th here, but I think that is eventually going to change because also there is a new proposal on the Cosmos Hub, which we're going to be talking about in a second. But yeah, those are the top IBC chains. This is the full overview of the Interchain ecosystem or the Cosmos ecosystem, and it continues to grow. And one of the top chains that actually just went live on mainnet is Story Protocol, which is also a full-on Cosmos blockchain that is in the IP and media segment, same as Omniflix. I think Omniflix was just 4 years early, but Story nailed it with the narrative, with the product line, with their ecosystem, with the team, with everything. And I hope that Omniflix can also maybe absorb some of that value and that new momentum in that category. But yeah, in the IP sector, we definitely have Story Protocol making big waves with their $5 billion chain that just went live. Now, looking more into the price developments, we're seeing everything still, in my view at least, on very low valuations on the liquid market. So I think if you want to catch a 10, 20, 50x for this cycle, right, you don't really have to look into pre-sales right now. You can still scoop cheap coins on the market. I know whenever I say that, people are saying, yo, Cito, you're always shilling those coins when everything is down and, you know, it's just not going to work. Those coins are dead. But I think this is exactly the time where you have to do the opposite against your own sentiment, against your own conviction, maybe even, right? Because some people are convinced that the bull run is over. But when I see Osmo at 34 cents, I just see a huge discount. I can't help but see a giant discount. Akash below $2 is crazy to me. DYDX below $1 is crazy to me. Celestia below $5, actually below $10 is crazy to me. So I think those prices will not stay around for long. What is crazy on the other side, though, in a positive way, is the on price. Mantra is $7.64, which implies a $1.7 billion market cap right now, by far the biggest Cosmos chain there is right now, followed by now Story Protocol at $5.2 billion, also now in the top 100 on CoinGecko. Welcome, Story Protocol, to page 1. But sticking with Mantra, they had some big announcements. The first one being that Mantra received the VARA license. VARA is a regulator in Dubai in the UAE, and it is normally for centralized exchanges that need this license in order to operate in the UAE. But now Mantra has secured the first DeFi license from VARA, which is a big deal. And I'm not deep into regulation. Obviously, my companies are registered in the UAE. So we also have considered or thought about whether we should apply for that. But I think it is a very tedious process. It's a very strict process as well. And Mantra receiving the license for their DeFi ecosystem is actually a big step, and also strengthens Mantra's role as a real estate and DeFi and just crypto hub from the UAE. I think also crypto projects should focus a lot more on specific geographics, and that is what Mantra has done. Also, AIXBT shilling Mantra, sharing that news as well, that they have received the first license from Dubai and is now cleared for virtual asset exchange plus broker dealership services, basically for their real estate marketplace that they're building with their multi-billion-dollar partnerships with Damak, with MAG, which if you're from the US or Europe, you've probably never heard about those real estate developers. But if you live in Dubai, you see the Damak sign just everywhere, right? Damak, MAG as well. Imar is a big one. I'm not sure if Mantra has conversations with them. Select Group, which is also where one of the buildings that I live in. But yeah, there are some giant multi-billion-dollar real estate developers, and Damak is one of the biggest ones. So the fact that Mantra landed this partnership is actually very impressive. But also on the infrastructure side of things, so Mantra also launched an accelerator program with Google Cloud, and JP and Rich Whitman from Google Cloud announced that at Consensus. And if you are a project that is active in the tokenization field, tokenization of real world assets, doesn't have to be real estate, can literally be anything, then you should check that out and apply here. In that context, Mantra also announced a partnership with Day2 Durian to tokenize their durian farm. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but definitely good to see that they're also active in other countries. This one is in Malaysia, and also in different niches of tokenizing assets, not just real estate, but also other real world assets, but also financial products. I think that's one that Mantra is probably also going to enter more and more, especially in the US, which is a market that is probably more captured right now by Ondo and Providence. Providence also being a Cosmos chain, already fully live on mainnet. Ondo about to launch their Cosmos chain, they just announced it, but RWAs are definitely made in Cosmos. And if you're bullish on RWAs, you are bullish on Cosmos if you want it or not. JP also sharing though the Mantra journey, because it hasn't always been that easy. And I actually know JP and the Mantra team since 2018. So I've known them before they even started Mantra. And it's very impressive to see. And I've seen all the iterations they went through, all the market sentiment and market phases they went through, and how they managed to push through or pull through, especially JP as a leader, through times where you don't really have a lot of funding and you have to pay salaries from your own pocket, is very impressive and inspiring. And I think as a founder, like JP just nailed it. And a lot of the success for Mantra is because of JP's resilience and just like vision, right? Because I know he's been talking about security tokens, which is what RWAs were called back in 2018, 2017. But he just saw that and he just went with it. And so did part of their core team, right? And they went through some iterations also internally, right? Like running a company, especially if it is about to fail, is very tough. And then when it makes a big comeback, it's also tough because maybe not everyone is fully aligned, right, with your vision, right? But yeah, JP, definitely a legend. Give him a follow if you're not following him yet. absolute weapon. Mark also saying, Mantra was a $13 million market cap project on Ethereum in 2023. After they became a Cosmos L1, Mantra is now a $7 billion market cap chain. That's a 600x. And it also shows that betting on Cosmos, also proudly representing Cosmos, actually does not mean your project is doomed, right? Which was the running meme in 2022, 2023, and 4. But I think now Mantra has shown that you can be proudly representing Cosmos, you can be bullish on Cosmos publicly without bashing the brand, without getting into this whole Karen, mentality. And you can still pull hundreds of X's, right? And that's what Mantra has shown. And I think it's also proof that other chains like Berachain, like Initia, like maybe even Movement that is not Cosmos SDK built anymore, but at least that is going to connect to IBC, which eventually means they're also part of Cosmos, that they also identify themselves more and more as Cosmos, and they're also going to proudly represent IBC and Cosmos. Now, we also see Kraken listing Mantra. The token, that's also been a thing that I saw a lot of people talk about, is like, how did Mantra do this? Like, why is the coin pumping when everything else is either sideways or down bad, right? And like Mantra just figured it out, right? Maybe they have very strong market makers, which is definitely something that I believe they have. Another thing is also maybe because when they land all those multi-billion-dollar deals, and there's probably also a way for them to buy in Mantra or tokens on the open market. Maybe that's part of the deal, I don't know. But they definitely have a very, very smart way of doing business. They have a very, very strong business sense, which is very, very rare in crypto, but especially in Cosmos. And you can see the reflect on the charts. The chart is just absolutely amazing because they have this strong business sense, strong product market fit, a strong brand, a strong community. They just tick on all boxes, right? And I think this is something that other Cosmos teams should also take note of and implement. Now, we're also very proud with Cito to finally have joined the Mantra set. Mantra launched their Cosmos chain last year at Cosmoverse Day 3. They made a big announcement, Ran and Jay on stage as the final closing segment of the conference, where they announced the mainnet launch for the first time publicly. Very proud of that. But then also now, a few months later, we are also very proud with Cito to have joined the Mantra set, which is very tough to get in, to be honest, now that they have so much traction. But yeah, we're very proud to be part of the set as a community validator, ranked third when it comes to unique delegators out of all validators in Cosmos. So we're very proud of that, to be a retail community-oriented validator. If you hold any we truly appreciate all your delegations to Cito. We're now in the top 20, and we really rely on your delegations in this competitive set. It's very, very competitive, and they're only slowly growing the validator set. And also remember that on March 18, which is now less than 3 weeks away, we are getting 10% of our airdrop finally, which is now a $400 million, almost $350, $400 million airdrop. So yeah, if you receive that airdrop and you want to stake it, please consider staking with Cito. We definitely appreciate that. Now, switching gears to the Cosmos Hub and Atom, which is hovering at around $5, but I think not for too long anymore, considering all the stuff that is cooking. And this is maybe something that will hit the market, that will hit crypto Twitter, and people will feel like shocked, right? They were like, where's this coming from? We as cosmonauts, and you as a Cito viewer and subscriber and follower of all the main accounts of Mark and Barry and the Cito account and me and Winnie and everyone that's creating content on Cosmos on the latest developments there, you know that this is coming. You know what's coming. And this is something major, right? The fact that Interchain Labs is now actually in charge of Cosmos Hub development, that is working on a roadmap for the Cosmos Hub. And they made a new proposal right now to basically allow Interchain Labs to deploy contracts. And one of the things they want to deploy first is in fact Skip protocol, which routes half of all IBC traffic. And eventually this will route through the Cosmos Hub. And maybe there will eventually also be a fee that will accrue to the Cosmos Hub, which means Atom is finally going to be an IBC hub, a true interchain service provider chain that is also generating and capturing value from the ecosystem and from the growth and the success of IBC, which is something that has always been criticized. We talked about this here on the channel years ago, right? And there were attempts to do it. Jack Semplin was the first one to make a proposal years ago. There were attempts to do this, but it was never in a coordinated way, whether the ICF was not involved or other core development teams and the different stewards that have different ideas and values and thoughts. And then there was this huge fallout with Jay and Atom 1, which is now its own chain that forked away. But apparently they're also on good terms with Interchain Labs and Mark and Barry. So right now, I think it's all coming back together. And the core tech stack development back in-house for Interchain Labs, but also Cosmos Hub development. So I think Atom is going to do well. I truly, truly believe that. And like I said in previous videos, my Atom stack in terms of coins is at an absolute all-time high. Yes, in dollar terms, my Atom bag sizes went down over the years relative to my other investments, right? Because it simply underperformed. But in coin count terms, it's at an absolute all-time high, which also counts for Osmo, for example, right? At some point, my Osmo and Atom bags were same. Then Osmo was 2 or 3 times bigger than Atom. Now my Atom bags are bigger than my Osmo bags again, right? In dollar terms, just because, Atom underperformed our other coins, but then Osmo underperformed Atom. So Mark also commenting further that this gives them the ability to build the next generation of IBC on the Cosmos Hub. Please vote yes. And also in context of IBC Eureka, which is coming, I think this is setting the tone for Atoms, or setting the foundation for Atom's trajectory this bull cycle. In parallel, we have also updates from Hydro, which is the liquidity as a service application on the Cosmos Hub to maximize the utility for the Atom token and making Atom as an asset attractive. We talked about how in this last round it generated a total APR of 61% for your Atom. So if you log in your Atom on Hydro, you get 61% APR. 16 or 70% of it coming from the LST, from the liquid staking rewards, but then also the tributes that are paid by projects bidding for Atom liquidity accrued to 45% or something in the latest round. They also now have their own governance system, and the first proposal went live. This is all going through DAO, which is also a DAO tooling framework that's been around for some years, previously developed by I think Jake Cardinal and the Juno team back in the days, which also was first deployed there, and is now also being used by Hydro. Now, one of the main goals for the Cosmos Hub and Atom this year is also going to accelerate DeFi on the Cosmos Hub. And Elys network, which is a perps trading platform basically, but also a more and more full-on DeFi suite that is heavily betting on the Cosmos Hub and Atom, fully Atom aligned. They're also now gaining more and more steam, and they're also co-marketing here on the Cosmos Twitter account, which is good to see. And remember that on March 5th, we have ShadeX launching, which enables private lending and borrowing with your Atom on Shade protocol that is also fully Atom aligned, and basically also the MicroStrategy of Cosmos, because they're buying Atom for their treasury. Now, quick round of news from the ecosystem projects and Cosmos, starting with Celestia, one of the most undervalued projects right now, in my view at least, in Cosmos, at around $3.50, $3.60. They also just now introduced Celestials, which is a universal identity on every Celestia network. And we have Noble announcing their Discord, which you should be joining. I think they have a lot of things cooking as well. So Noble, definitely join their Discord. Then we have permissioned keys by DYDX, which enables for more institutions to trade on DYDX, which should also increase volumes and also drive revenue for DYDX chain. Chris also saying IBC everywhere, so also love to see DYDX fully Cosmos and IBC aligned. In the beginning, it was also a bit shaky with them, but they came to all Cosmoverses ever since they announced their Cosmos chain, and they're getting more and more bullish and Cosmos aligned, also in terms of their branding and marketing, which is very, very good to see. In terms of trading awards, they also just doubled on DYDX. So if you're a trader, you can check out the top link in the video description. We have a partnership with DYDX. DYDX is a media partner of the Cito Zone, and also we have a VIP affiliate link, which means you get huge discounts on your trading fee. So you should definitely use the top link in the video description that says trade on DYDX. Use that link if you want to trade on DYDX. And they always launch all these tokens very, very fast, right? Like VARA was launched immediately. Kaito, which just dropped, we're going to talk about it later as well, was also listed quite fast, and many, many more. Now, Penumbra also announced private liquid staking and integration with Stride. I think both Penumbra and Stride are severely undervalued, especially Stride, considering they've been around for some years now on mainnet, went through a big redistribution of the STRD token, have strong product market fit with their liquid staking platform, also on Berachain, also on Atom, and many, many more. And now also fully integrated on Penumbra. Passage, another project that is not dead in my view. They're core builders. I think one thing they're lacking big time is probably this business sense that JP has, but I really hope and think that they definitely care, and I think for them it's definitely their baby, right? Like Passage is their life project, right? If you talk to Lex, his brother Errol, I think you really feel this passion and ambition that they have to make Passage a success, also reflected on the charts eventually, which obviously as a founder you can only say and do as much, but I think they're doing the right things when it comes to the product, when it comes to, involving the community as much as possible. I've been part of their journey since, I think, August 2021, so it's been, 3.5 years now, and I think they will continue to be around for a long time. And once the metaverse hype comes back, Passage has to be there and capture value of that hype. And I think also Lex now being more and more active on Twitter, more and more engaging, is good to see. Now they announced this partnership with Neo Tokyo, which is hosting events in their in the Passage worlds, and they will host more and more of these events, which is actually really cool to see. We'd love to see more of that. Now, Osmosis, also quick updates. In my view, as I said, still one of the most mispriced coins right now on the market. Faster block times now 1.33 seconds. And another milestone achievement for Celestia. They just crossed 1 terabyte of data posted on Celestia. We're going to look into one of the top rollups on Celestia that is posting a lot of data, which is actually Eclipse, but we're going to look into that game right now that's ongoing, which eventually also translates into an airdrop. Then also Jakal crossed 100,000 files, big milestone achievement there. Jakal is, I think, the only one, or at least one with barely any competitors, at least in Cosmos, when it comes to being a storage platform. Obviously, there's Filecoin and a few more big names, but I think within Cosmos, Jakal is probably the only one. And I think having Jakal in your portfolio makes sense. So if you're betting on the AI narrative and AI infrastructure, which is what Jakal also fits in very nicely, alongside, of course, Akash Network, alongside Fetch AI, and many others, because AI is also made in Cosmos. If you look at the top chains that are in the AI sector, many of them are also Cosmos chains underneath. Now, Drop.money, which is a liquid staking provider, basically Lido on Cosmos, that is currently deployed on Neutron mainly. They, you can liquid stake your Atom and Tia there. And the phase 1 of the Droplet campaign has ended, which means 10% of the supply that was giving out as an incentive for early stakers has now ended. Now they have another round, phase 2, which gives an additional 5%. So I think a total of 15%, at least for now, is going to be airdrop to the community of the drop token. For example, one of the new things you can do right now is to also use your D-Atom, your drop atom, to mint IST, which also earns you Droplet points. And then you can basically take that IST and either buy more D-Atom or deploy it on DYDX or deploy it somewhere else to generate yield. But you can do something with that as well, while also earning Droplet points, which is brand new. Interprotocol, or DCF, is also a media partner at the Cito zone, and they also just announced that they have been bidding on Hydro. Also shows more and more coordination and alignment between different teams and core contributors, right? We talk about Hydro, ISCL, Interprotocol, Drop Protocol. So it's also good to see more synergies and more core marketing and integrations there. And Interprotocol has secured 50,000 atoms from Hydro's third round. Now, getting over to NFT news, we're very proud to announce that we got to reveal the third group of Hungries, which is an NFT collection, one of 3 Genesis collections on Initia, which is part of the Anyo NFT community. Setmos from my team is a big NFT guy, obviously also previously had collaborated with Anyo, and we're also excited to make this partnership here with Anyo, not only to reveal the collection, which looks really cool, but also that we got exclusive whitelist slots. So we got exclusive whitelist slots for the Crypto Cito or Cito Zone community, but then also for all Cito Plus members. We got 30 whitelist slots for Cito Plus members, and we're giving 10 tier 1 whitelist slots for the Hungry series to all Cito Zone followers. So this Cito Zone whitelist slot campaign has already ended, which is why you always need to follow Cito Zone on Twitter, activate the bell and notifications, because you're getting those opportunities here on Cito Zone. If you're a Cito Plus member, then you even get it faster, you get notified, you get tagged, you get, you basically can't miss those opportunities. And also big shout out to the Anyo NFT team for giving us those whitelist slots and also this opportunity to collaborate. Now, we also have news from Onchain OMies, the official NFT collection by Mantra. They just released OmFlip, which is a game, a mini game. The revenue that is generated from Onchain OMies is also trickling back to OMI holders. So if you are holding an Onchain OMI NFT, then you're getting now a revenue as well. If you wonder what this collection is all about, we did a full breakdown of all body types on the Cito Zone account, which really is a detailed breakdown of this collection, where it comes from, also all the traits that it has, and rarity scores and ranks, and which are the top NFTs in those different categories. So check that out as well. And then before we get to some Berachain news, we have the second Cito Earn and Cosmos Hub campaign that officially concluded. Cito Earn, just for you to remember, is a platform that is basically allowing everyone to create content and be incentivized, get compensated for creating content. So whether it's a thread, a video, a tweet, or whatever that gains traction, that is educational, that has value, then you are basically having the chance to earn rewards, right? To earn Atom or earn USDC. And big shout out to Tony, who has been a repetitive winner because his content is just absolutely amazing. Also Stride Boy and the Hodl Wizard for your content around Atom, around also Crypto Dungeon, which is a gaming platform on the Cosmos Hub, also fully Atom aligned, very, very strong team. I really love the Crypto Dungeon team as well for their authenticity, for their resilience, for their continuous building. And I think they're also big hustlers and probably one of the most underrated teams as well on the Cosmos Hub. And yeah, also content around Mantra Chain, and also Hodl Wizard is part of the Cito Plus community. So we're also allocating part of the funding for part of the rewards for Cito Plus members, that they also get more exclusive opportunities for being Cito Plus members. Now, as promised, some Berachain news, which a lot of people called death upon when it went to below $5 here. And I said, like, this is an interesting opportunity. Well, now, a few days later, it's scratching back at the top 100, $8.33. The dust has settled a little bit. I think the initial FUD wave, usually when tokens launch, there's a honeymoon phase. I think for Berachain, it was the other side. They had a FUD phase, and now they have their honeymoon phase slowly coming in and being reflected on the charts. And I think Berachain is going to do very well this cycle. Smokey and the Berachain team, some of the smartest, most committed builders. They have a very complete ecosystem with their POL framework. You can also watch the video we did the other day breaking down how Proof Liquidity actually works, the Berachain ecosystem as well, highlighting some of the applications. But if you watched the video last week already and are avid Cito subscriber, then you are ahead of the curve right there. Looking at the TVL, which crossed $3 billion right now, and yeah, there it just continues to grow, stablecoin liquidity. It all is starting to kick in. And this puts Berachain now in rank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Rank 7 on TVL, just ahead of Arbitrum, Sui, which are also multi-billion-dollar chains. I think Sui has a $15 or $20 billion FTV, Berachain only $4 or $5 billion. And just behind Base, so Bera about to flip Base, Tron would be up next, and then Binance Smart Chain, and then Bitcoin Solana, and then we're already would already be on rank 2. So let's see if Berachain can achieve that. It would definitely be very, very impressive. And considering how their POL framework works and how they all have this native liquidity layer baked into the main protocol, there's actually a decent chance, I think, that Berachain could actually achieve that. Now, also quick update from Aleph 0, which is in the privacy and ZK field, one of the areas that is more technical, more infrastructure oriented. It's a mid-curve fundamental vertical and narrative, which is also why it fits so well to me and the Cito Zone and Crypto Cito, because we are mid-curvers, we're fundamentalists, we believe in this tech and the core infrastructure. So good to see A0 liquidity is getting more out there. And now some quick news to end up this video. Kaito just launched their token at a $1.5 billion valuation. I don't really know much about the project, to be very honest with you. I just read some threads how Kaito is basically a company, a Web2 company that just dropped their token. And I think for now it's still a bit unclear how much revenue they actually generate, which parts of this will be on chain, but they have this social intelligence platform. So it's basically a social fi project, or info fi, they call it, and redefining relationships amongst creators, users, brands, and platforms. And they gave out an airdrop to individuals. So brands or companies were not eligible for that airdrop, but I got 1,500 Kaito tokens, which at the current price of around $1.50 is around $2,500. So definitely appreciate that. Thanks for this amazing airdrop, to be honest. Very, very nice. I'm probably not going to hold on to it, to be very honest with you, because I just don't really know much about the project and its economics and why I should hold that token. But if you know more about Kaito, please let me know. In terms of airdrops, we also have Saga announcing Vault 2.0, which is going to change the game. So until now, we got the Saga airdrop for staking Saga tokens. The more you stake, the more you get. Every snapshot is basically a new round. And if you don't stake your airdrop or you unstake, then you're basically ineligible for the next rounds and you're out. Now this is changing. Vault 2.0 focuses a lot more on liquidity. So I guess similar on how Berachain's POL works. If you deploy liquidity on Saga, you're probably getting incentives in Saga tokens. And apparently you get generous incentives. So we're going to see how that plays out. But they're now about to launch the liquidity integration layer, LIL, as a chainlet. And for that, they want to bootstrap and accelerate liquidity provisioning in the beginning, which is why they're switching the airdrop strategy from rewarding stakers to primarily rewarding liquidity providers. Also, I want to share a quick update on Eclipse, which is probably the main reason why Celestia data has been skyrocketing over the past weeks and months, or the data posted on Celestia, I should say. Eclipse is deploying the Solana virtual machine on on Ethereum as an Ethereum L2 using Celestia for DA, and they have this game going on, TurboTap, which is basically a game where you have to tap here, and then you're getting points, right? You're collecting those points, and eventually this might actually translate into an airdrop. There's also a leaderboard, and if you look at the top contenders here, it's absolutely insane the amount of token of points they have. I think I'm doing quite well. I was addicted to this for like 2 weeks. In recent days, I haven't tapped that much, but I think this should be doing well. And you have to also complete all those boosts. For Cito Plus members, we did a full video on how to get started here, because you also need an invite code to get started here. And to be honest, at this point, I don't even know how long that is still going on. But yeah, you basically have to complete those tasks, which are basically mini games, or you have to provide liquidity, you have to trade, you have to buy and trade NFTs or memes or something like that, which means you're actually using Eclipse, right? I think this is probably one of the best designed airdrops. If this is getting an airdrop, of course, we don't know, but I think at least it quacks like an airdrop, so we'll see. But definitely one of the best designed campaigns and onboarding and early user engagement campaigns pre-token that I've ever seen in crypto. Finally, also we're revamping a little bit the Cito Zone website. So right now it's a bit chunky, and I think right now it's very, very informational, very educational, which in a market environment like this, I think people don't really care that much. There will be more features also for you to earn money. Number one, for being a Cito Plus member. As I mentioned, we get exclusive whitelist slots. You sometimes get also notified for opportunities to make money from Cito Earn. And then also we're going to implement this now on our website. So this is still on work in progress here in Figma. We're still refining some final things, but you get a quick sneak peek on how that looks like. Anyways, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's been a bit longer, but there's just so much that is happening. The Cosmos Resurrection miracle is in full swing, as I said in the beginning, and there's just so much that's cooking. Let me know what your favorite projects are, your favorite coins. I think I covered a lot of them, like Mantra, Akash Network. We've been covering for many years. Even Berachain is now up there. Hopefully getting more and more Cosmos aligned, and also being more proudly representing the brand, because eventually they are using Comet BFT, which is the core consensus algorithm for Cosmos, and eventually Berachain will also connect to IBC, so they will become more and more Cosmos. Atom itself, Osmo itself, I think there's some of the OG chains as well, Story Protocol, Mantra, the new ones, right? But yeah, let me know what you think, what is your sentiment right now, your feeling on the market, and any reasons why you would be bullish or bearish on Cosmos. I'll see you very soon here on Crypto Cito. Until then, stay safe and be good.